I can't believe it is already September. Hi, I'm Kat, and today we're going to do the August wrap-up. As a whole, August was really meh, and I felt really meh as well. First off, the movies that I watched in August, or movie that I watched in August, was The Old Guard. Now, I think this came out this month, August, and I had seen like good reviews about it, and I have to say that I really enjoyed it. It's nothing special, it's a typical action movie, but it was really enjoyable. Then moving on to TV shows, and here I watched 3, which is surprising for me. So first I watched Skin Decision, then I watched World's Most Wanted, which is a docu-series, and it was, as most of them are, really interesting, really eye-opening. It was a hard watch, really well done. You could tell, like, really well researched as well, but very hard to watch. And finally, the last thing that I watched in terms of TV shows was the 2nd season of The Umbrella Academy. Oh, I was so excited to watch this and to get back into this world because I watched season 1 last year and I was really curious to see where the season was gonna go, because where we leave off season 1. So, if you don't know, The Umbrella Academy is a series that focuses on people with powers. So, you learn this first episode, first couple of minutes. One day, out of the blue, at the same time, I think it's 100 babies that are born. And all of these babies, all of these people who are born, have some sort of ability, some sort of special power. And there is one millionaire that decides to adopt quite a few. And that's what he does. And he names the whole group of them, the whole organization, the Umbrella Academy. So they are a group of kids who eventually become superheroes. And we see them many years in the future when they are already adults. You can totally see the tone of the show, so if you enjoy the 1st and 2nd episodes, it's just way better from there. I loved it. And this 2nd season, I don't want to spoil it if you haven't even watched the first one. If you have, I still prefer season 1 because of the timeline. I'm going to put it like that. Once again, the ending, if you've seen it, please let's talk, because it's not so much that I have questions, it's much more the sense that I need to talk to someone about this. Oh my god, the ending. What does this mean? We have so many things that were purposely left unanswered, and I need to know the answers, so I cannot wait. I know this just came out, but I need season 3 like immediately, as soon as possible, because oh, I loved it. It was great. Moving on to stand-up specials, and this month, yes, I watched 3. So the first one I watched was Jim Jeffries' Intolerant. Now, I had seen some other stand-up special by him, and I didn't like it at the time. I just didn't vibe with his style, with his material. This one, I enjoyed much more. Sanjay, 3 in the Morning, a new-to-me comedian, really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the way that she's very dry in her stand-up special. I'm really curious to see what else she does, because I will be watching. I really enjoyed it. And then I rewatched, yes, you heard correctly, I rewatched. I do this a lot whenever I just want something comforting to play in the background, whenever I want to watch something that I know I like. So I rewatched Daniel Sloss' Jigsaw. If you don't know of Daniel Sloss, let me introduce you because I love him. I love his style. I love his comedy. I love his material. And this show in particular is brilliant. I don't want to say anymore because I really would love for you to check it out. If you have, let's talk. It's comedy with a message, with a lot of intelligent thoughts behind it, and I just can't recommend it enough. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Now, let's talk about all the books that I read this month. I decided to put them all here because it's something to look forward to and they are ordered. So let's go. The first book I finished was Cradle to Cradle by Michael Braungart and William McDonough. I think that's how you say their names. And this is nonfiction. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I picked this up because of the cover, but I did read the flap and I was really interested in this. So the fact that I enjoyed it as much as I did was a great surprise in the end. And this talks about design, it talks about industry, and it talks about environment. Those are the main topics that this book discusses. And this is very, very short. I really enjoyed this, and the one thing I have to say is that this is not the most current book. This came out, I think, in 2002. So I would love to see this, but with the knowledge that we have today in 2020. And I will be looking for more books like this because I was very interested in what they had to say, and I want to learn more. It is the future. We have to be much more conscious about what we use, how we use it, and the amount of resources that we employ to just satisfy our needs. And that was very interesting. Next up, we have Out of Love by Hazel Hayes. Now, first of all, look at this cover. I love it so much. It's so stunning. This is the story of a couple who has recently split up. And this is different because you see the story going backwards. This was very interesting. I have to say that it wasn't my favorite. You can tell that this is a debut novel, so the writing is not yet consistent throughout the whole book. There were certain passages that were very well written and some others that needed a little bit more editing. For some reason, I put such high expectations on it that I was bound to be a bit disappointed. Then we have Dark Lover by J.R. Ward. And oh, I hate this cover so much. But let's talk about the book because once again, I was disappointed. Now, this is a book about vampires, and this is supposedly like a romance, paranormal type of book. So it's very much focused on the relationships, and yes, that is the case. But I was hoping that this would be much more entertaining than it was. First off, I was hoping, even though this was written in 2005, for some reason I was hoping that it would be more contemporary in its ideas. I was so disappointed and so unimpressed with this. For people who hate insta love, oh boy, I have never in my life seen a bigger insta love and a more instant insta love than this. No, I can't recommend it. And I know that people always say like the first book is not the best, like read on and the books get better. But I question, is it worth it? The time investment, the possible money investment, because when does it get good? Let's move on to a favorite, a personal favorite of mine, and that is Heartstopper Volume 1 and Volume 2, which is my favorite. And I was just in need of a comfort read, and that's what these were. I absolutely love this series. There are 3 volumes out. I just read these two because this one is my favorite, and I needed to get to this one, and it's just beautiful. These books talk about Nick and Charlie and talks about their relationship. It's really, really cute and fluffy, but also serious at the same time, but it's just so heartwarming. I reread The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. I will put up somewhere up here the video where I talked about all things romance, because that was a lot of fun to film. If you've seen that video, you know my thoughts. Not a favorite, don't recommend it, so let's quickly move along. Then I finally I pushed through Tropic of Capricorn by Henry Miller. Once again, this was in my 5-star predictions video. Oh, this was the furthest from a 5-star that I've read. Oh, I hated this book so much, so much. Lastly, we have our final 2 books, and that is Feminist Theory from Margin to Center by Bell Hooks. This is the translated edition because it's prettier. And I really, really enjoyed this. So this is, once again, nonfiction, and this, like the title says, it's feminist theory. And this focuses on intersectional feminism, and this is much more academic. If you remember, I read Hood Feminism last month. I love that, and I would actually pair the two together. I think one says certain things that the other complements, and vice versa. Really, really enjoyed this, really informative. In terms of the translation, I would have preferred to have read this in English, but still I think the translation was good. And the last book of the month is this little thing that I actually read on the last day of the month, and that is Every Part of This Earth is Sacred to My People. This is translated to Portuguese. I don't know if there is an English edition, but this is bilingual, so we have the English part and we have the translated Portuguese part. And this was a speech made by a Native American chief by this name that I don't know how to pronounce, and I will not butcher it, so this is the name. And this was very, very interesting. So you have the speech, and the speech talks about, this was the speech was made when the white Europeans were trying to colonize America and just take land from the Native Americans. And this speech is the chief of the tribe explaining that you can't sell something that is free. Like, you can't sell air and you can't sell water. If it is something that may interest you, I think it's very, very interesting. I recommend it. And like you can see, it's very, very short, so you learn a lot fairly quickly. And that is it. Those were all the things that I watched, all the things that I read in August. I'm hoping that September will be a better month. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, please tell me down below in the comments what was your favorite thing of the month of October. Oh wow, of the month of August. What was your favorite book? What was your favorite movie? Anything, let's share it down below in the comments. I'd love to know. And yeah, that's it, and I'll see you next time. Bye!